Every day I learn something new on the internet. Did you know that bees don't fly in the dark? Like, here's a bunch of bees with the lights on. And then, like, as soon as you turn the lights off, did you see that? They just drop to the floor, like wings off. No flying at night. Have you ever wondered how they make those squishy stress balls? Well, I finally found a video where they open up the shell of the stress ball, open it up, fill it up with beads, close it up, and then what? Do you like sew it? They're injecting something. Oh, I guess that's the top. You know, what if you squeeze it too hard? I feel like it's gonna come out. So that's why they put this plastic layer on top of it that keeps everything together. And hold on, listen to that. Listen to that crunch. Okay, I need to find me one of these stress balls because this is like the new version where it doesn't say a ball, but you could like spread it out into like a pancake shape and it's crunchy and soft at the same time. But how do you get it back together? Wait a second, you just poke it with a needle and then somehow it's back to its original form. I thought it was like a slime situation where it's like, wow, look at this slime taco I have. And then you smush it all together and it's, wow, now I have poop colored slime. No, you can get it back to its original form and ruin it once again. Wait, it's not even its final form, I lied. So they're injecting some kind of liquid or gel into it so you can make it stress ball-y and soft, or you could suck the liquid out and make it a crunchy stress ball. Okay, wow, now we know how stress balls work. Nobody's ever asked, what is the proper way to put away leftover pizza? In the box and you put it in the fridge. Wait, what are you doing? Why'd you rip the box in half? Okay, you know what? Bro has unlocked a new way to box pizza. So you take half the box, flip it, and oh wow. When you don't have that much space in your fridge, when you need to refrigerate your leftover pizza, I need to see how we did that again. Okay, fold one corner, and then fold the other corner. And then somehow, it's like a smaller pizza box. Wow, wait a second, this is actually genius. Because if I needed a smaller pizza box, it's getting wrapped in foil and thrown in the fridge. Also, I feel like leftover pizza isn't even worth it. It doesn't even taste that good the next day. This is the world's largest cruise ship. I had to make sure this wasn't AI generated. Do you have any idea how big this thing is? It's 5 times heavier than the Titanic and fits up to 8,000 people. Bro, this is an entire city. Like, there's a skating rink, several water parks, several pools, thousands of rooms. My brain does not understand this kind of scale. Actually, I have, because I've seen a cruise ship in person before. I was like blown away. I was like, this is way too big. It's literally an island in the middle of the water, but with everything you could possibly need and thousands of other people on board. I found a comparison photo. This is the Titanic versus the Icon of the Seas. You know, the Titanic basically looks like a toy boat next to it. It is literally the biggest cruise ship. Did you know they drop blocks into the ocean to help marine life? You're probably thinking, how? Why? Those are cinder blocks. You could have built a house with those. Why are you putting them into the ocean? That poor fish is gonna look up like, ayo, what's that? And then get smacked by a block. So these concrete blocks form artificial reefs. You know, the things that fish swim and live in? It's a hard surface for algae and coral to grow on. And that creates little houses for the fish. Hey, they'd be living in a modern brutalist home. Man, fish used to live in a coral reef that looked like this. Now they live in these modern block houses. You know these red Solo cups they have at every single social gathering ever? You might notice there's a bunch of lines on the cup. Is it for aesthetic? Is it just part of the brand? No, they actually have a use. This cup is not only for drinking, but it's also used for measuring. Like, every single line on the cup is a measurement. And you might have noticed this with Starbucks cups too. It has little indents for them to measure out the syrup and milk. So it's like the little ring on the bottom, 1 ounce. You want 4 ounces? You want a 12 ouncer? It's actually quite genius and nobody realizes it. Did you know that rabbits can swim? Okay, I think most animals can swim, but have you ever seen a rabbit swimming? Because I haven't. I thought they would just like avoid water or maybe like pull up to the edge of it and start drinking from it, but no. Look, this little bunny's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. And then its natural animal instincts kick in and it starts swimming across the lake. Wow, he's so handsome and talented. Wow, look at that thing. I feel like any creature with 4 legs, they literally just have an instinct when they get into water to start paddling their arms and legs, and then that's how they swim. I mean, that's what I've learned from having dogs. You just put them over the water, they start This might be the smartest, most useful hack that I've learned on the internet. Those really tight bracelets that are impossible for you to put on by yourself, you need two hands to do it or somebody else. You take one side, put it through a bobby pin, hold it tight, and then you clip the other side. This is actually genius. Why are we just now figuring this out? Because it's like me, I'll like wrap it around and it'll fall and then I'll struggle. I'll like have the weirdest angle trying to clip it and then I'll just be like, well, I can't clip it. I don't want to wear a bracelet today. But all you need is a bobby pin. You just hold it in and then you pull the bobby pin out when you're done. Smash the like if you'll actually use this hack because I will. This is the best scam ever. If you could balance 25 cents on this lemon, you get $100. It looks like it's gonna be so easy, but it's actually impossible. Look how many quarters are in the quarter graveyard. There's so many quarters in there. Like, it just seems like it's so easy. But the surface of the lemon is so round that when you put anything on it, it's just gonna flip over. All these people trying it, they're like, okay, you know what? It's gonna be the easiest $100 I've ever made. Just gentle. Be very gentle. But nope. Nobody could do it. You see that guy? He brought stacks upon stacks of quarters to try this. Who's gonna tell him it's basically impossible? These are sea creatures recorded from under the sea, and they don't even look real. It looks like a cartoon. Look at that little guy. Why aren't you shaking your head like everybody else? You know, bro is locked in. I wonder what goes on in his little head.
What is going on inside their head?
So apparently these are nematodes. You've probably seen them on SpongeBob, where they devoured this dude's boatmobile. You see these gorgeous looking cakes? Well, they make them in a factory. How? So they have a huge sheet of cake already baked, and then the mysterious brown goo, which is most likely a mousse filling, it just comes out of the poop dispenser. And then this machine that slices them into perfect rectangles and removes the little butt piece. Yeah, we don't need that. No crust. We love a crustless cake. Then put some more icing on top, and then you have a human to manually sprinkle the chocolate shavings on top. I feel like this is how all IKEA food is made. It was definitely not homemade with love. It was made by machines in a cold hard factory. When you go to a restaurant or a coffee shop and you wonder what they use to wash your filthy cup after you sipped your dirty green matcha latte out of it, they use these pressure washers. You basically put the cup upside down and it basically pressure washes the inside of the cup. Like, this cup is filthy, man. I thought it was just brown. You're telling me that was a clear cup? Go back to the beginning. Look at that, before and after. Wow, very efficient. So instead of rinsing it a billion times through your faucet, you just have this little attachment that pressure washes the inside of the cup. Very nice. Why is that baby covered in ice? Is there a child in there? You know, at least he's warm. So I had to do some research. This is a Scandinavian tradition where they let babies and toddlers nap outside in snowy weather, and it's supposed to help build their immune system. Most people probably see this and be like, that sounds really dangerous. I would not put my baby outside in the snow. You know, if the baby is warmly dressed in a protective bed, that's supposed to help their health. It is supposed to make them sleep better and get sick less often. You know, it makes sense because how did humans survive thousands of years ago in snowy weather? Did you know baby koalas have separation anxiety? They really don't want to leave their mother's back. So you know what they do? It's given a weighted toy to reduce the separation anxiety. Yeah, low-key, I don't think it really helped. Bro still looks stressed out. Oh, poor baby. Why would you remove her from her mother like that? Like, ripped away. She needs something to hold on to at all times. Oh, this poor thing. Bro, the mom is unbothered. Like,
ugh, finally feels good to have nothing clawing on my back.
how do you get rid of a hornet's nest? They're basically evil bees. Yes, this has got to be a proper way how to deal with a hornet's nest. This hornet destroying expert comes in and sets it on fire. Honestly, love that. Goodbye, hornets. Probably every single toilet you've ever sat on flushes using water. And then somebody came in and said, why does it have to be water? Why can't it be fire? This is an Incinolette toilet. You're probably, wait, what? That is fire underneath there. You press the flush button, it is going to set your poo on fire. It eliminates waste with heat, so it doesn't need to be hooked up to a water source. No plumbing, no problem. Use an Incinolette. All you gotta do is make sure you get up and then flush. No flushing while you're still on the toilet, or it might be a little toasty on your cheeks. Creative way to cut a birthday cake. You know, if you don't have a knife, but you got some tongs, literally shove it in the cake and cut you a slice. Are we in prison? Why don't we have a knife? This honestly seems very efficient. I've seen somebody do this with a cup, where they just take a cup and then scoop up some cake with it and then eat the cake in the cup. Never worry about flipping eggs again. I'm sorry, did you just pour them on the lid and then flip them upside down? Okay, well, did it flip the eggs or not? I learned this as a waitress. You go to a restaurant and you see a stack of napkins that look real fancy. You just take a cup and then twist it and it makes them look like this. Oh, she fancy. I always do this before cooking. Just cutting the edges of the parchment paper and then poured some water so that the parchment paper sticks and then it fits perfectly into the baking sheet. This saves me money. Bro just cut his paper towel into 2 toilet paper rolls. Yeah, it's gonna save you money. Instead of using 1 sheet of paper towel, you can use half. But at what cost? I don't want that on my kitchen counter. And then somebody come over, be like,
Why you got toilet paper in your kitchen?
I don't like it. You know, just learn to use less paper towels. You know, some people spill like this much water on a counter and then pull like half the paper towel roll to wipe up 3 drops of water. Like, come on, that is unacceptable. How to make a hard shell taco. You put it in the toaster. Wait, this is genius because I wanted to do this the other day and I didn't have one of those taco racks that you put in the oven. So you can just put them in a toaster and voila, hard shell tortilla from the soft shell. You know, sometimes I just be craving a good crunchy taco. Mexican restaurants don't want you to know this. I don't think any Mexican restaurants are doing this, honestly. This 97-year-old diner still serves Coke the old-fashioned way. What do you mean the old-fashioned way? Didn't it always used to come in a can? No, so they take Coke-flavored syrup, pour it in the glass, and then some sparkling water while they mix it up. Like, give me a second. Let me whip up your Coke. And then a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Is this a Coke float? But anyways, that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, the face, and subscribe to the Wolf Pack. Oh, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.